Didn't they just already make
so
the
it's
people
not- it's
of
really
Hong
not
Kong
even-
stick it up the arse?
It's really not even more effective than...
It's not.
So,
What? It's time to talk about the times on Men of the Times. Tonight, we're talking about anal swabs in China. What else have they thought of, those crazy cats? So let's get into it. I'm Justin.
I'm T.
I'm Joe.
Let's go.
And among other things, China is now irking foreign visitors with its anal swab tests for COVID-19. The checks, as offensive and undignified as they sound, are required at Beijing, Shanghai and the port city of Qingdao for some international arrivals. Now, the checks, which are in addition to nasal or throat swab tests, have stoked debate over their necessity.
No kidding. Oh, they've sparked some debate about their necessity, have they? No shit.
So-
Pun intended.
So the virus leaks from your lab, and now you want to stick a swab up my butt.
We all knew
No.
this is what it was coming to.
It was all about ass play. That's all this was about. It was just a slow progression. You know,
If
at some
I've ever
point, it's
seen
always
a
about your
porno,
ass.
This
It
was
always goes to...
this was the kink of the Chinese Communist Party to literally shove it up to the arse of Westerners.
Why don't y'all take that badge and shove it up your ass?
She did say
Moving
that
on.
some people have raised some concerns.
That's true. That's true. Some of them have.
Some people
Some
are just
people-
fine with it.
Early this week, Tokyo complained about the tests on some Japanese travelers to China, saying they had caused great psychological pain. Last month, reports cited a...
Wait. These are the tourists coming into China, and they were not prepared for this.
No, that's the big part of this story is that
Okay.
they're asking. So think about about this.
Nobody can ever complain about American TSA ever again.
Excuse me, but we're going to need to insert this somewhere. Yes, sure. Okay, up the nose. No, up your butt. Oh, no. Yes, up your butt.
I would be like, I don't
And your
give.
little dog too.
I would be like, I don't give a shit if that was a 15-hour
Well, you might have to
flight.
give a shit after it goes up your butt.
I guys, like, I'd be adamant. I don't give a shit if this has been a 15-hour flight. That hole is strictly exit, no entry. Okay, I will take my unpenetrated arse back to the US of A.
Yeah, that's what they all say. Until they go to China.
A Chinese foreign ministry spokesman said that, to his knowledge, such tests had not been required of U.S. diplomats in China. In a statement, the ministry said the virus prevention and control measures China was taking were based on science.
Hold on. The key thing here is that this is, of course,
Based on
backed-
science.
it's science. Bill Nye has approved it, you see.
Bill Nye or Dr.
Bill
Fauci?
But same person.
At this point,
Same guy.
Because I represent science.
Why not just do the nasal test? I mean, other than, unless the point is,
Not conclusive enough. When you got to get to the source.
I thought the
Clearly
source was
up
in the
the butt.
lungs.
yeah.
Well, yeah, you get there up through the butt.
This is the new COVID.
How is the source your arsehole? Surely that's the end point.
Yep.
We're gonna have to start wearing.
You
butt
got to start
covers.
at the end to get to the beginning. You see.
What
Fuck
are
off.
You know?
what are masks for your anus?
In order to get to the alpha, you must start with the omega,
Could you imagine if this becomes a thing?
which might be the next variant name. Who knows?
Oh.
Hey,
But don't call it the G.
Yeah,
It can't be that.
we can't
No,
call
we,
it the
we
G.
cannot offend China.
20 years into the future, when China rules the whole world, and in order to get into a bar, you're just gonna have to pull the pants down and stick your butt up.
No,
It
what is
reminds
that going to
me-
be the next form of ID?
Oh yeah, no, you're still gonna have to show ID. You're gonna have to show your ID and stick your butt out, and for them to stick something in there.
Then I'm going to
Yes,
enjoy a
that's-
very sober life.
Some Chinese doctors even justified the tests by saying that such tests can ensure infections are spotted since the infection coronavirus traces, that is, can be detectable in the anus for longer than in the respiratory tract.
They can also find polyps and prevent colon cancer. So it's a dual-purpose test, you see. It's dual purpose. Why do 2 when you could do 1?
So
well,
that-
actually, you're gonna do number 2 after this test.
I have a feeling this is much less to do about science and much more to do with humiliating Westerners. Like, let's be honest. They bring this specifically for the biggest event
You've been making fun of
the
us all over
Beijing
the world.
Olympics,
Oh yeah?
yeah.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah? We're sticking something up your butt. Okay, buddy?
Take one for the team, bloody boy.
You're gonna be our butt buddy. Buddy.
Well, I was thinking maybe this is like a play on. So I don't know what the proper word for it is, but in politics, when you want to get across a specific agenda and your agenda is not favored by the opposition, or maybe they're just fighting against you just because they're, the opposition. So what you do is you propose something that's far worse and something so outrageous that then they get all upset about, and then they're like, no, we can't possibly have this. And then you offer something that's, more palatable, and then they're like, oh, fine, we'll compromise, and they see it as a win. This happens a lot in politics. So that's what they're doing here. They're like, okay, you don't want to stick it in your nose, we'll stick it in your butt. And then people are like, oh no, we can't have the sticking in the butt. And then afterwards, sticking up your nose and tickling the brain a little bit is gonna not be so bad.
But a virology professor at the University of Hong Kong, Jing Dongyang, says that a positive result does not necessarily mean that the person tested can spread the virus.
Didn't they just already make
so
the
it's
people
not- it's
of
really
Hong
not
Kong
even-
take it up the arse?
It's really not even more effective than.
It's not.
So,
What? Hey, here's a travel tip. Don't go to China. If you were thinking about it, don't.
Well,
Unless
you might
unless
go
you like
and
things
then-
up your butt.
And then they'll tell you this, and then you're like, no, that's not true. I can do my own research on the internet. But then they block the internet.
you
I have brought my own research. We don't listen to that. But I have it. It doesn't exist.
Where did you get that?
They're like Jedis over there in China. It doesn't exist. You will let us put something in your butt.
You don't need to see his identification.
We don't need to see his identification.
I did my own research. Where? On the internet.
So all we're
Where does it
saying,
exist?
all
Was it
we're
a fan
sa-
site?
all-
Yes. Jail.
Oh,
You're going to jail.
all we're saying is you will pay a heavy price
Oh.
to see the Eternal City.
Indeed.
Now, anal swab tests are not exclusive to foreign visitors. During China's last major round of infections in January, some cities performed them on unspecified segments of the local population as well.
Poor people.
And volunteers. Unspecified portions of the population. Really? Huh? And were you dragging them out of their homes as well? You must have it up your butt. I don't wanna. It's going up your butt. I don't wanna. It's China, man. That's China for you.
If you take it up the arse, there's plus 10 on your social credit score.
Yay, I have friends now. I'm allowed to have friends. I can go into the club now. Whee!
The World Health Organization has primarily recommended testing respiratory tract specimens to diagnose respiratory diseases because they give the best sample.
How does anything to do with your respiratory tract have to do with your anus?
Oh, man. I love how it's like the World Health Organization has thought that using the respiratory, test was actually the best way to go. But now, after consulting China, who was recommending anal swabs, and now every other world country should start adopting this because the WHO said so. And the WHO, knows.
It's like the NBA. The NBA was all for civil rights, and then they consulted with China, and
And all
changed their
of a
view.
sudden that went
And
out
then,
the
and then
window.
the NBA was like, "You're right. We don't care about human rights. We don't care anything about human rights. Who are humans really?
So
and what are
we-
rights?"
Because you're human, and I was human. I am human, still.
But again, when they start using this on their own people, it's just like well, what's worse, you know? Like, whatever they do with the when the Chinese government starts making the regular people do anal swabs, then why are the people going to complain about what they do to the Uyghurs?
True.
Like, it's just they can just push the boundary. They're just pushing the boundary of
And
what
an
they
anal
can get
swab is
away with.
probably a tenth of what they're going
Where
through.
do you draw that red line?
Anal swabs. That's where I draw.
Yeah.
I draw it at anal swabs.
I'm referencing our
Very much
Ukraine
anything
video.
entering my butt is where I
anything
draw the
going up
line.
my butt is a no for me.
You got to draw that. You got to draw that. Red
I'm gonna have
line
to say
and-
no to that dog. Sorry, wrong way. That's gonna be a no from me, dog.
It's definitely a no for me, dog.
I got nothing else. You guys got anything else on this?
No. No.
Which is the answer you give if someone comes at you with an anal swab. No means no,
No.
China. It means no. But then again, China doesn't really respect personal boundaries. So, you know.
I'm going to give a shit about human rights if you're going to give a shit about your asshole.
Yeah.
No.
So anyway, leave us a like, hit the subscribe button. If you want to see any longer content or new content that we're putting out there that isn't on the YouTube channel, please go to our Patreon account and support us there. Leave a little donation or subscribe to the additional content we have there. We really would appreciate it. But until then, we're just going to keep talking about times on Men of the Times with me, Justin.
Me too.
And Joe.
We'll see you next time.